today is the day before Mother's Day, and we're gonna go ahead. Sorry about my rooster. I'm gonna go ahead and start planting. This year we try to scale back some. I know that the economy, the way the economy's going and everything, people are predicting that we should grow more, stuff like that. I didn't really want to get in that type of discussion. But at the same time, I also believe if you're not going to use it, don't grow it. Use it, give it away, something. If you're not going to do that, then you don't need to be growing it, because all you're doing is wasting. And I don't think that's right either. So this year we're going to scale back a little bit. As you can see over to the left, you'll see our tomato cages. We always grow tomatoes. I don't know if it's a southern thing or what, but we love our tomatoes, so we always grow those. Those are never wasted. We're going to do just literally 2 plants of squash, probably down at the very end down there. You'll see where the cages stop. The next few rows over, we're going to do some green beans. And then the next few rows over, we're going to do some okra. Then down here on this bottom garden right now, we're just talking peas like always. But we've talked about, possibly adding something to it. We're not sure yet. We do direct sow gardening. I don't like transplants. I do some transplants, like my tomato plants, and my pepper plants will be transplants from Lowe's, usually. I do have seeds saved up, but right now, while transplants are readily available, I just go ahead and deal with that. It's easy, it's fast, it's quick. As long as they're available to me, then I'll do that. I also wanted to show y'all, while I got you on here, I want to show you, this is the fertilizer we use. It's Vigaro Tomato and Vegetable Garden Plant Food plus calcium. I wanted something to use on our tomato plants that helps them, and this is the only fertilizer I was ever able to find that actually worked, and it was probably because of the extra calcium. But I wanted kind of an all-in-one that would still be safe for the rest of the garden, and so this is what we buy. We get it here in Alabama. We get it from Home Depot. It's usually $5 or $6 a bag, something like that. And we put it on our garden patches, and we till these. If they're not in boxes, we till them several times, and then we put the fertilizer on, and then we till again. And as you can see, we've already made rows, and we're going to get out here today and we're going to plant a little bit. My boys, they always do the planting for me because my health is not good, so I can't. Bending over and squatting and stuff like that and getting back up again, I can't do that a lot. So it really, after everything gets tilled and rowed out and everything, it does not take them long to get this planted. Probably half hour. And now today, since I decided not to plant as much as I typically do, it'll probably take less. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside and we're going to talk a little bit about where I buy seeds and how to actually design or lay out your garden. Hey everybody, we are starting the gardening process. It's time for us here in the South to get started on that. A lot of people have, different zones, start at different times. We normally start actually a few weeks after Mother's Day, and I'm filming this the day before. So we've decided to go ahead and start today. I'm not sure if it's going to be a mistake or not. I guess we'll see, but it's about 2 weeks earlier than I typically do. What I wanted to do was kind of give you my method that I do. Very laid back, very easy, as simple as possible, and as quick as possible to get everything planted. I'm not even sure the dimensions of our planting area. It's quite large. A lot of people don't have that much space. So this year we're kind of scaling back just a little, just like I had said previously, just because we don't really need to plant that much more. But we also, I'm stressed out every year because I've got so much of it that just, I have usually a pretty abundant harvest. Okay, so every year we use the same, pretty much the same spot. Our top garden bed, I'll try to post a picture of that here. It has been there, we've used it, that space, for years. I started it back when my kids were little, and before, you know, my youngest was even born, and he's now fixing to be 11. So, I mean, it's been there several years. Anywhere from 8 to 10 years, I've been growing out of that one patch. Last year, we added the bottom patch. With COVID going on and everything, we felt like we needed to dedicate more space to our peas because we just loved them. So instead of it being included in the top garden, we just made a whole separate space for that. And then we added smaller boxes and stuff like that. Now those smaller boxes did not get added until last year. And like I've said in a previous video, we've had really good luck out of the boxes. I was actually surprised with my peppers and stuff because they just grew just so well. But every year when it's time to plant, my husband goes out, my sons go out, they help. They all till up the garden, getting it all ready for planting. My job is to make sure that we have enough seed, we have the right seed, where it's going to even be planted, how many rows, so on and so forth. So I make a smaller diagram of everything, and to kind of give us all an idea of how it's going to go. We have it all set up a certain way, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that, first of all, that patch is that's part of our property that gets the most sunlight for an extended period of time. So 6 to 8 hours, probably longer than that. It's pretty much clear. You will see in the part of the video in the beginning where I showed you the layout and everything that there is a tree at the end that kind of interferes with a lot of stuff. That tree really needs to come down because of it. Because right there on the end, it does create a lot of issues. But what I do is I try to make sure that I take into account when it's time to harvest, and you see how big these plants get, how big, tall, wide they get, you need to take into account that height before you ever see a plant. So you need to do that while you're planting. Think about it. You know, how big is this going to get? How wide is it going to be? You know, is this plant here going to tower over the next row? Because if it is, then I need to figure out a way around that. So that's what we do. I have tomatoes on one end and I have okra on the other. Okra, it gets really tall. Tomatoes get out of hand and round, very round and tall. And as this progresses, I'll show you how big they're getting. So I try to take that into account. My low-lying vegetables go in the middle of those. Trying to not create any issues. This is my method. This is how I do it. It's my setup. As far as spacing goes, on the individual rows, I really do not go by the package. I look at it, I take it into account, but I really don't go by what the package has to say. I try to make it even further apart usually than what the package tells me. That's just, it works better. It's a lot less overcrowding, a lot less, plants that I have to rip up out of the ground because it's just too much. And that's how we do it. We usually have pretty abundant harvests. Sometimes when my husband gets a wild crazy idea, and likes to experiment with my garden vegetables and stuff, that's when we start running into issues. As long as they're left alone and done the way that I've always done them, they usually turn out pretty good. So what I'll do, the next video that I do on the garden, I will show you. We'll go row by row and I'll show you the different things. So you can just get an idea how everything's looking, how everything's going. It's probably going to be several weeks because we're just planting today, and a lot of this stuff takes, you know, sometimes 60 days to start, you know, before you start seeing progress. But I will show you, the updates will come, and that way you can see, you know, little updates here and there about how we go about it. Seeds. Like I said before, I direct sow. I like that better. I do, like I said, have to do some transplants, but like I just get those from just my local Lowe's here. You can get them from Home Depot, any kind of place that sells them, Tractor Supply, any of them. Now, my seeds, I like to get from In My Gardener. They're cheaper, and they are heirloom. Most of them. As far as I know, most, if not all of his seeds are heirloom. They cost about, they used to be 99 cents a pack, but he just went up recently. I want to say they're $1.99 a pack now. He's got pretty much everything you could even possibly think of. So I tend to go with him. I have bought from Baker Creek before. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. There's Johnny Appleseed. There's Rebecca's Garden. I think I just ordered some seeds from her. So, you know, there's tons of seed companies out there. You just Google it. It should be fine. You want to try to stick to your heirloom varieties because you can save the seeds. So if it ever got to where, and last year it did, and I believe this year it's starting to get the same way. If it ever gets to where you cannot get seeds or find seeds, you need to try to save a few. We do have some saved. The easiest things for me to save have been my peppers, my peas, my okra. So I do save some, but like I said, if I'm able to do my transplants from the store, I'll try to do those first. I can do transplants. I have done transplants, but I just am not a fan. I have to find a place to put them. They're always in the way. You know, if I had a greenhouse or a room or even just a garden shed of some sort, or just an area in my backyard where I could set up tables and stuff like that, then it would probably be no big deal. But I don't, so I can't, you know, I don't have that area to do that. But that's, you know, all I wanted to talk to you about today was just trying to give you an update on the garden, and we're getting started on our planting. We plan on doing, I could tell you, we're going to do tomatoes and squash, some green beans and some okra. We're going to do our peppers on the end like we did before. We're going to be doing some melons, and we're going to do a pea patch, possibly corn. Just different little things like that. So I will be sure to update you soon. See you later.